Well, hello everyone, Thewalrusclown here, and for those of you who have been here long enough, you might remember me reviewing Season 1 of Netflix's original series, Kong, King of the Apes, and for some strange reason, despite how horrible it was, I decided to watch Season 2 for some strange reason, and I was pleasantly surprised. This has to be the biggest between-season jump in quality I have ever seen. It's like, after Season 1, someone on production watched my review, took everything in stride, and worked to improve things. Oh, don't get me wrong, it's nothing special, but they went from a quadruple F- to a solid C+, and deserve a gold star for that much improvement. This review could just be me going over all my old complaints for Season 1 and listing how they fixed it in Season 2, and you know what? We're going to do just that. There are spoilers, and you'll probably want to watch the original review for context, so there'll be a card in the corner and a link in the description. Anywho, see you after the intro. Before we get into those addressed problems, a quick overview of the season. Kong, Lucas, and the kids fall into a volcano at the end of Season 1. They land into the Hollow Earth, into a land of the Lost-esque land full of non-avian dinosaurs and other extinct fauna. Move the crew down there, meet a race of ape men, deal with Batilla and Richard splitting ways and having two villain factions to deal with, and stopping both of them from pulling off the M. Bison plot.
Of course!
Anywho, on to those addressed problems. Anywho, my first complaint was that the reason Kong became kaiju-sized was never addressed. They fixed this by revealing that he isn't really a gorilla at all, but one of the ape men living in the Hollow Earth, and Kong just has a rare genetic trait that shows up in the ape men every 1,000 years or so, and this is why he's a giant. Another big, very legitimate complaint was their treatment of the racial minorities. They do everything to give both Douglas Jones, the African-American, and the Mexican maid and her grandniece that hangs out with her more personality outside of racial stereotyping. Douglas Jones, or Jonesy for short, is shown to be more than just that black friend every 90s sitcom white protagonist had to have, and spends most of the series trying to free the Batilla clones that she made to be her minions from her and her abuse, and ends up being the best character. As far as the maid and her niece are concerned, they fixed this by having the niece be a hyperactive tomboy action hero wannabe, and have the maid form a very strong, totally platonic, so none of you are allowed to make unsavory fan art of it, relationship with one of the female ape men, strong enough to the point where they are going to open a dessert bakery at the end of the season. They take care of Amy's Applejack status by writing her out of the show outside of a video call cameo in episode 1, where she basically signs custody of Danny over to Lucas for the duration of the show, and succeeds in making Danny likable and not being so annoying. And my final complaint was all about how they basically wanted to earn brownie points with environmental lip service so wrong no person who actually knew what they were talking about would agree with what they're saying. And I'm just going to play a clip from that rant in case you missed it. Like in the episode Poacher's Prize, where they save a female liger and her liger cub Lucky. In the end, they release her into the wild where they know where there are wild male tigers. If you don't understand everything wrong with this, let me explain. A. You can't release a big cat that was raised in captivity into the wild. That would be a disaster for both the cat and the people living there. They haven't learned how to hunt, or to be afraid of people and stay away from human habitated areas. And in fact, by fact that humans were caring for them, have learned to associate people with food. The big cat always loses in these situations, and by lose, I mean die by gunshot. And B, a real nature conservation group would never try and breed a hybrid animal. Every wild male tiger that has relations with the ligress is a potential tiger that could have been made. And considering that there are more captive tigers in private ownership, aka a place they don't belong here in the States, than there are in the wild, every wild-born animal counts. As far as conservation of wild species is concerned, Kong, you fail! Good times. Good times. Anywho, they fixed this by switching this out for animal rescue and rehabilitation, and pushing these elements into the background and having to deal with Batilla and Richard as they try to pull off the M. Bison plot.
Of course!
Becomes the main focus instead of trying to divide the show's attention between dealing with them and failing to teach kids how to help the environment. Anywho, that's it for this review, and sorry it's so short. Somewhere between getting Brovid, my mother's retirement, my mother's birthday, getting strep throat, my niece's birthday, having to re-edit and re-upload 2 videos because Mattel not understanding fair use, only to have to upload them somewhere else because they refused to understand what fair use is, and re-editing and re-uploading my Equestria Girls review twice because Hasbro didn't understand fair use, and in order that has left me exhausted. Damn, I need a drink. Anywho, next review will be proper length, I promise. Anywho, see you next time, and stay fresh, cheese bags. Ooh!